Bonjour, welcome to France.
Not here for the onions.
Nor the tower, we've got one of them in Blackpool.
We're here to fish.
Hello and welcome to Old Oaks Fisheries, situated in near to Le Mans. It's a 5-acre lake and holds some fantastic fish, some big lumps. It's got 40s and even a few 50s in this lake, believe it or not. Come fishing here for a week, and we've come with our good friend James, also Raul from Spain, and also Andy from Fish Madrid, who you may recognise from our videos, and of course Harry, who's managed to kick the week off already with a lovely 27.5 pound mirror. There's been plenty of fish showing, predominantly a lot of them on the far bank, but hopefully over this week we're going to be showing you the methods that we're using, and also of course what the venue has to offer for you the viewer. So hold on tight, it should be a good one. Right, brilliant. It's my first fish. Just gone 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's just ripped off. Probably about a foot off the bank, on the far bank. So just need to get it in now. Right, brilliant, 31. Beat my personal best, first fish, first day, so plenty still more to go at. So I'll have to get this rod back out, get back at it. Yeah. Right, brilliant. James's rod's are screamed off, so yeah, I've had to take his rod unfortunately, so 2 fish on.
Got 2 on here.
Yay! Get it. Number 1.
Cheers, matey.
Yeah. 2 fish on the bank, 2 20s. True credit to James, both on his rods within 5 minutes of each other. He's waited a couple of days, but it's all come at once for him. Fantastic, well done fella.
27.4 and that one is?
What was on?
26,
26?
Yeah.
Okay, we're just going to run through a few hints and tips for the PVA that we've been using on this trip. Okay, so first tip, tip 1. We've got a simple running rig here in compliance with the rules here, and the first tip I want to show you, or the mistake that people make, is they make their PVA bags up, their film bags, very similar to the mesh bags that people use. And they make these up beforehand, and you get your rig, and the people get their rig and they hook it on like a mesh bag. Now you have to remember this film is 0.0003 millimeters, or less than a tenth of your average mainline. Now this will not withstand the force of a cast for even a short chuck. So you have to bear in mind that this is actually very thin, and you need to put your rig and your hook inside the PVA bag for when you're using this type of bag. Okay, so tip 2. A lot of people, when they're making stringers, they will make the stringer and bunch the baits right next to each other like that, and they'll attach their rig to the top and cast it out. Now the problem with this is there's no space between the baits, and there's no way that the water can actually melt the PVA because it's totally encapsulated inside the baits. So in order for it to actually melt correctly, you need a little bit of spacing between the baits here like this, otherwise it's not going to melt. A lot of people bunch them together and you're basically fishing with a greedy pig rig. So that is tip 2. Tip 3. Now this is related to the film bags again. Again, it's related to the thickness of this material, and this is not necessarily related to these bags, it's related to all film type bags. A lot of people are used to using the compressor to really ram down the compression and tighten the mix on the PVA mesh, and they think they can do the same, and they will really ram this down here really hard, and eventually you're gonna do this seal, because this is, again, it's only 0.003 millimeters in thickness, and eventually you will burst the bag. I've seen a lot of people really ramming these down, and you just got to bear in mind the thickness of the material and what you're actually dealing with. So that's tip 3. Okay, so tip 4. Now we've done the bag up here, we've got the lead in the bag and the rig, and a lot of people would just cast this out as is, forgetting that this has still got quite a bit of air in here. So it's always important to remember to put some holes in the bag. It doesn't matter what depth you're fishing, we need to put some holes in the bag to make sure it sinks quicker. So if you get a baiting needle, any old baiting needle, and just put some holes in it like this all over the bag, ideally without a latched one, but put the holes in, and if you squeeze it a little bit more to get the air out, it will help it sink quicker. Usually a small bag like this, probably 30-40 holes. I've only done 10, but just to demonstrate, but 30 or 40 holes, and that will sink like a brick. Tip 5. Now I've made a very simple, ugly little stick mix up here, far too big for what most people use, but just to demonstrate. And in this end we've got chopped and broken boilies. Now a lot of people will use this or this kind of material in their bag, and they will get their stick needle and put it through, and you can easily impale your hook on one of these large pieces of half boilie, and of course you're not going to catch anything if your hook's impaled. So that's tip 5. So that's a few little simple tips and common mistakes that people make when using PVA, and I hope this helps in your fishing.
Well, into my second fish. Just has to run for this one though. Just seen a fish crash right on top of the bait, and within, I don't know, 2-3 minutes off it ripped. So feels like a nice lump, nice and solid. Really impressed with these rods as well. I say they're the Force rod design. Nick's kindly borrowed me, and this is the X range. Actually, these are 2 3/4 pound test curve, these rods. So they're really nice and stiff for getting the lead out there, but I say got really nice action for playing fish as well. So which is what you need, really. Right, okay. Well, starting to get a bit of an arm ache now. Can't say don't fight well in here. I've had this on now just over 10 minutes. I've just managed to get a quick glance of it. It's a mirror, I think. I wouldn't like to say how big it is yet, because you just can't tell in here. But yeah, it certainly has given me a run for the money. $39.5, just half a pound off 40, but never mind, give up a great scrap, so brilliant. Made up with that nice lean fish, nice and clean, brilliant. France 2011, get in. Rigs, just wanted to talk to you about the rig I'm using this week. On this venue, it's running rigs only. What I've got is a simple 2-ounce pear bomb, which slides up and down onto the Corda running rig. I've then got a quick link connector, and on my hook link I've got a nice sleeve that just slides over just to protect it from ever coming off there. And what it also does as well, it just keeps it away from the bomb itself. So when I'm casting out, it just basically keeps it completely away from the bomb, and it just gives that extra anti-tangle property. So I've got that, I've got a nice stiff rig. This is Super Mantis Gold, and it's coated with plastic, nice and stiff, but then on the last 2 inches I've just stripped that back to a size 8 ESP Raptor hook, and I've used a bit of shrink tube on there just to give it the bent hook effect. So I'm shrinking it down, I'll just bend this tube in, and basically it just gives the same effect as a bent hook. I've got a bottom bait, and I've topped that with a nice pink piece of corn, and that's as simple as it gets. That's the rig that I've been catching my fish on. There's no need to complicate things, simple as that.
Well, another day, and we weren't expecting too much action because it's very sunny and warm today. However, I'm the only person who's had a run today, and it feels like a good fish actually, so let's see. Yeah, it feels a good fish, this, as I said before. It's certainly moving a lot more than the other fish that I had, which was a mid-30, which makes me suspect that it's a longer fish, a leaner fish, rather than one of the fatter ones, which seem to be prevalent here. There's a lot of fat fish. I'm hoping this is a longer, leaner fish and in better condition, but well, I guess we'll see at the end. But it's certainly a healthy fish, and it's given me a pull on my line.
It's in there, come on. Well, we're going to put it back now, safe and sound.
Next time. Okay, well, it's all kicked off again today. As you've seen, Andy's just had his fish, and I've walked down to my peg, and James is also into a nice fish as well, so seems to be a bit of a feeding frenzy at the minute.
There you go, third fish. How's about that then, eh? Absolute peach. It's about £32. We haven't taken the weight of the sling out yet. We'll figure out that later. But that is a cracker. Oh, he's in the office.
Another 30 with the mainline baits. Wicked.
Harry arrested his swim for a minute there. Lift it up, Harry. And in a very short period of time, he's had 2 fish. He took his rods out for a bacon butty and both rods have ripped off, and that looks like a 30 to me. Good job, Harry. Well done, mate.
Just had a change in weather. Two rods out again. 2 upper 20s. Brilliant. Just saw a fish jump near the far bank, so I dropped my hook bait just over it. Within 100 minutes, it ripped off. What's happening? Back in the hand, there. Third fish of the day. It's another 30. Brilliant.
Alright, so we're here with Mehdi, the owner of Old Oaks. You've got a fantastic lake here. When was it set up and why was it set up?
We started Old Oaks in 4 years ago. It was a known lake with a little fish stock, and then I bought the lake and bought some nice carp from the fish farmers, and they get bigger and bigger.
Okay, nice. And where are we exactly? It's near Le Mans, no?
Yeah, we are. I used to say Le Mans because it's easy to find, but we are in a little village in the south of Le Mans called Spey.
Okay.
So that's the true village.
S-P-A-Y, no?
Yes.
Spey.
Yes.
Okay, good. You have a reputation for managing a good fishery, you know, sort of quality fish, this sort of thing. Can you tell us something about that?
I try to stay logic, I think, not overstocked, just balance.
Okay.
Just balance, and it's good to have predator to eat the fries. It's just a question of balancing. As soon as you have the right balance in your lake, you have some nice fish growing every year, you get some monster, you don't need to feed the fish, and naturally, everything is natural and it's working.
Okay, yeah, it seems to be working. Some cracking fish here.
Thank you.
When the anglers arrive here for the first time, what information can they expect to receive? Will you give them advice, tell them where the fish have been coming out from, baits, that sort of thing?
Yes, I try to help them as much as I can, and first I give them the result of the previous week.
Okay.
Then I explain them some of the rules, and then the tips.
Okay.
And where, how, and normally they try themselves first, and then if they need, they ask me, and I can help them. But the fishing is not complicated. It's mostly far margin.
Yeah.
To the far margin where are the fish, but sometimes it's not true. So it's fishing.
Yeah, okay. You have to try different things,
Yes.
but the far margin is
it's
definitely
one of the best.
one of the best
spots.
features.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So how many fish are? What sort of amount of fish do anglers catch when they come here? I mean, typically, I know it's a difficult question, but what can they expect to catch? Is it 20s, 30s, 40s, and will they catch one fish or 3 fish or 5 fish depending on the week?
Depending on the week and weather and months, generally you catch between, a good week is 40 fish, 50 fish, sometimes is 90 fish.
90, wow, okay.
But it's exceptional. But an average week nowadays is about 30 fish, 40 fish, is 35 fish average.
Okay.
And you get many 30s. Now you have more and more 40s. A few, one of the 150 has been caught, the common at 52, and very few 20s now. There were 20s, but now they are all 30 plus.
Okay.
So that's they keep growing.
Yeah, they're getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
If someone was blanking, what advice would you give them?
Fishing toward the far margin.
Fish towards the far margin, yeah.
That's mostly where the fish has been caught every year, and it's still the best spot, I think. Depending the week, sometimes it's open water. In open water it's better, but tied to the far margin, 1 to 5 yards, plastic cone or a little fruity bait, on a little bed of party blend ham, and normally when they are feeding, you catch.
It's the key to success.
Yes.
How much do the fish grow on average per year in Old Oaks?
In Old Oaks, I would say about 3 to 4 pounds, depending the fish, but averaging 3 pounds.
Okay.
3 pounds a year.
Okay, all right. So they were mostly sort of 20s a few years ago. Now they're mostly 30s and some 40s and a 50, of course. Now as well.
And they keep growing. I'm sure in the next year we will have at least another 50, a mirror this time, and few more 40s, because all the 37 pounder will top 40 plus next year. So. Good.
Yeah. Good. Speaking of the 50, the common, how often does it get caught? Does it come out sort of regularly, or?
I would say about once every 2 months.
Right.
Maybe.
Okay.
Again, it depends the season. Sometimes more, sometimes less.
Right.
But this season so far, this fish has been caught 3 times.
Right. Okay.
3 times. One at 52, 51, and 51.
So it's a tricky fish to catch. It's quite shy.
Good. It's a good challenge.
Yeah, good challenge, of course. Well, we've still got a chance, so let's see. We may have it out yet. I believe that, speaking of record fish, I believe you've got a few records yourself for casting, distance caster, and also for growing giant pumpkins or something like that, I heard. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I love casting.
Yeah.
I cast since many years now, and I cast for different rods, for the magazine mostly, for testing different tackle, and I like to cast lead, baited rig, make a lot of practice in field, and I did some good casts with, for example, with a single lead. I did 219 yards. My overhead cast.
219. Wow.
I did 200 with a spot, just bag on 200. That's my best cast with a spot, and it's good fun.
It's a long way. It's a long way. Okay, and what about the pumpkins? I believe you've got one. Is the boat? You use one as a boat. It's that big. You can get 3 people in it or something.
6.
Yeah, 6. Oh my God.
Back in 2009, I grew it's still the European record pumpkin, 1,611 pounds, and it was about 5 meters circumference.
Okay.
And the challenge was to break 2 world records. One is the most people in the pumpkin, rowing in
inside
the lake.
Oh, rowing. Okay, brilliant.
Like a boat. There were a Switzerland record, 4 people. We did 6. So that's a good record, funny. And then the second record was to catch the biggest fish off the pumpkin, and I caught 3 fish in Old Oaks on peg 2 at 11 pounds, 22 pounds, and 40 pounds.
Wow.
And from the pumpkin, so very funny.
Yeah, it's amazing. We'll have to look at some photos of that. I have to see that for sure. All right, well, I guess that sort of sums up the interview now. If you want to book here, we do it through Angling Lines,
Yes,
no?
only through Angling Line. Yeah.
Okay, directly, exclusively through Angling Lines, online on the internet.
Yes.
Okay, all right, well, thanks very much for the interview.
Thank you.
And I guess now we'll move on to some more action.
Okay, it's Wednesday morning. Just had this about 20 minutes ago. We put her in the recovery sling. It's a personal best common, £31.4. I had another last night as well, £29.4. You'll see the photo soon. But this is a PB common. Great stuff.
Well, I'm in again with a very fast take from under a tree over there. The bait's been in for about 20 hours now. We've realised that washed out baits are working better than sort of fresh baits, so it's been there for 20 hours and just ripped off with a very fast take and probably another long, strong, lean fish. But well, we'll have a look at it in a bit. Another fish in the back of the net. Come on! Good job. Nice fish. Okay, so we got a 40 and an upper 30 here. As you can see. It's big. Yes. And now we're going to talk about bait. Right, I'm going to talk about bait. As you can see, we've got a nice selection here. The principal bait that we've been using has been freshly rolled for us. It's one from the Zenobojko collection, Frutella. You can obviously buy them in these bags, but these are freshly made, so they don't get any better than that. To complement these, we've been using stick mixes within the PVA bags or stick mixes. In addition, we've got pellets here which break down really nicely and give a nice spread of bait around the boilies. And again, these are my favourites. They're bloodworm pellets, which are fantastic, really juicy, and certainly draw those fish into the swim. So that's pretty much everything for bait. This is what we've been using. Certainly helping us catch some fish.
Well, it's all happening down this bottom corner today. Raoul's waited 2 days for any action. He's just had that 40 pounder which you've just seen. Lovely fish, and within 10 minutes of him putting his right hand rod in, it screamed off and he's into another fish. So this bottom corner seems to be picking up, and this is where all the action is at the minute. Well, absolutely fantastic. £29 4 ounce. Andy's into another fish, into the corner. It's gone absolutely mad down here. So let's go and check out Andy and his fish. Well, here's Andy into another fish down this bottom corner. How's it feel?
I don't think it's a monster. I can see the fish now here, but it's certainly given me a good pull on the line, and it has gone crazy down here. We've had 2 fish on the bounce, one after the other. So the fish seems to have moved into this area. I think this one's ready for the net now, so we'll have a look at it in a minute.
Brilliant. So that's 4 fish in half an hour down here. Wicked.
Okay, so 3 fish, 3 30s, another one here, just on the nail. Good scrapper and a lovely fish in lovely condition.
Well, absolutely fabulous. Harry's had another ripping run on his left hand rod, and looks to be like another nice mirror.
Woo!
Well, you can't get better than this. These pegs are absolutely fantastic, just sat on the edge here, playing a nice lump. Really hard to tell how big these fish are. Really thought it was quite a small fish, and then it's just started plodding around again now. But waited 2 days for this, so magic, made up.
Perfect.
Fantastic. 29.5 pounds. So my first 20 from the venue made up.
Okay, so I've got a lovely mirror carp here, and I'm going to show you a couple of ways of picking it up. This fish is still fighting. It's a very, very strong fish, but typically there's two ways to sort of grab the fish. Obviously using the fin. What I like to do is separate the fingers and just cup and under. Do the same with this hand. You're essentially cupping under here, grabbing hold of this. Ooh, here we go. Grabbing hold of this fin here and just cupping and lifting. Like I say, this fish wants to go. Just hold it there nicely, and down she goes again. That's one way. The other way is, because sometimes these can be very spiny and they can give you a good prick in the finger there. So if you're holding it, you know, it can hurt. So the other way is to grab the whole thing. So grab it underneath like that. Same again on this side. Look for the fin. Put your two fingers around the back there and just scoop it up there. You can see I've got all my hands over the back fin there. You see Terry Hearn doing that one a lot. Also emphasises the belly on the fish. Well, I hope that helped. Put this fish back now. Lovely, nearly 30-pound fish, absolute scrapper. Good job. We've just come from swim 2 where Andy's had his first 20. He was struggling to catch a 20, he's been catching 30s more than 20s. And now we've come to peg 4 where Raoul's into another fish.
There she goes.
Oh. Yeah. It's un push. Oh, va per culo.
Hey. Well, the fish in here certainly do fight well. They stay nice and low, and you don't generally see them until the net. So hard to tell really what this is. I know it's a mirror. That's it. Get it. Brilliant. Great, okay, well Harry's managed to do it again in the last hour. Managed to winkle one out. Lovely £30 mirror. Old Oaks Fishery, fantastic place to visit. Andy?
Yeah, if you want to visit it, you need to book online through Angling Line's website, and it's well worth it for a summer session with plenty of 30s and 40s. Yeah. Get on it.
Brilliant. All the best and sight lines.